Oh, evening, boys. Are we all good? Are we all happy?
Yeah, all good.
All good, all good. Where were you last week? The pair of you, where were you? I set up a live stream with all intents and purposes with live famous people. And nobody turned up. Famous people. Were you expecting me to have anybody else on apart from you? Because you're famous. Oh.
Well, sorry, I was on my annual leave. I did book it in with you.
Oh, all right. Well, I think what we need is a longer process, more forms for him to fill out. What do you think, Ross? In fact,
I
I'm
agree.
not even going to say what do you think, Ross, because you did the same process. We're not having that anymore.
I had a note.
Yeah, from your mum. So anyway, boys, right. So this week's theme was sort of conjured up because somebody said something to me halfway through last week, and it sprung a little bit of a, oh, okay, I think we need to chat about that just to see what your crazy ideas are. So I'll just inform the public, because we have actually got people that watch. If you would like to say hi, put it in the comments, and then we know who's watching. If you don't want to say hi, then there's 3 people. 2 people might get thumbs up or whichever. Say hi, say hello. But halfway through last week, Ben came into the shop and said that he had changed his return pump to a 10,000 litre an hour return pump.
That's huge.
That's like, if we were to, like, we're in Scunthorpe, so if we were to run a flexi pipe to Cleethorpes to drag water directly to Ben's tank, it would probably do it.
Hey, it's, each to their own, right? Each to their own crazy ideas.
So come on, Ben, fill us in the thought process and what you're trying to achieve.
So for me, it's I'll start at the beginning. So I had a 4,000 litres per hour return pump initially, and it was a TMC pump, return pump, and in my crazy, I don't know, because I wanted to start an Acro, I wanted to have more of an SPS tank than anything else. I thought flow was something of importance, especially with Acros and SPS corals in general. So I thought, well, considering that I run a Rowaphos reactor and I wanted to run a carbon reactor as well at the same time, I thought, well, what return pump can I actually install on this system? So, as you do, you go on Facebook Marketplace and the internet, and I like the brand TMC. So I was looking, oh, pumps. And suddenly a pump turned up, which was a 10,000 litres per hour TMC pump. It's a purple one. And I went, oh. And then I look at the price and I was like, oh, even more interested, because it was really cheap. So I was like, oh, brilliant. So I ordered it. I got it from secondhand, and it needed an impeller, to be fair. It had like a little bit of the impeller was warped slightly. So I replaced that, put it in, and then it's actually running at full power. It's running at 10,000 litres per hour, but there are 2 reactors running off that as well. So there's quite high flow on both the reactors and going in the tank. It's running 3 things at once. So that's why I got it. And I'm hoping in the long term, this will this is going to be my learning experience. And then at some point I will want to have maybe some frag racks in the garage at some day. And, I've then got a decent sized pump to start running other systems off it if need be. So that's my reasoning behind a 10,000 litres per hour TMC return pump.
So what are we? Are we sold, Ross? What do we think to just increasing the size of the pump in the sump for more flow?
So your ball valve like into something is that fully open as well?
Yes. It is a full flow. So the return water literally goes straight down. There is no like adjusting it. But I also run this system with a little bit more water than it should be running because of obviously the flow. So, but yeah, no, it's maxed. Trust me, my crazy tank is running at some ridiculous rates of flow, to be fair, like ridiculous rates, because I've got 2 gyros as well running, and they're big, they're not small.
Did you have your 4,000 litre? Did you have that running at full pelt as well?
I did, and I wasn't getting, so with the 4,000, when I started the first reactor, the return of the reactor wasn't going into the display, it was going back into the sump. So initially I had it actually the return flowing to the first chamber of the sump to try and keep, the balance within the sump, within the chambers. But I noticed with the Rowafoss, it wasn't really getting a good tumble, if you want to call it that, or like, like it's not like a full tumble, is it, with Rowafoss? But you know what I mean, where the Rowafoss has to like shimmer. And then when I noticed that, and then I noticed the flow to the main display wasn't correct anymore, that's when I thought, hang on, I need to, if I'm wanting to run carbon and whatnot, as well as I need to then go to a return pump that can handle all those flows, all the, how much flow each reactor and the display requires. So I've still got the 4,000, and now I use that for mixing salt. So,
Right.
So
But I've got 4,000
so
now.
all of
But
Go.
did you find? I find mine trips out if I turn it. I don't know what it goes up to. Is it 20 or 18 or something like that on
they
the?
go to 20. They go to 20 on the TMC.
So if I put mine up that high, it starts error coding at me.
Oh, really?
So so I don't know if it's maybe just a fault with the.
Are you getting cavitation though? If your return pump is too close to the surface and you try and put it up to like the top speed, it can suck air. So because the intake of the return pump is too high up or not deep enough, that makes more. If it's not deep enough in water, it obviously causes like like when in a sink, when you pull the plug, the drain on a sink, you suddenly get that whirlwind, don't you, going in the center, and that's what that does. So it could be cavitation because the TMCs pick up on that when suddenly the impeller spins too quick or overspeeds, it errors out.
All right. So if I was to step up that chamber, it should be all right.
You might have to actually make the flow return actually to your tank slower, or up the water going down to your sump. So the ball obviously open it more.
Yeah, so that's always been a sort of concern of mine that I'm not utilising the sump maybe quite as well as I could be, because that ball valve, it's very precise. The turning of it, and the slightest adjustment, your bloody sump fills up or your weird bottoms out. So it feels like it's barely on, and I run my return pump at, it changes sometimes when we're doing water change and that, but between 7 and 10.
Yeah, it's half. So you're running around about 2,000, just under 2,000 litres an hour.
Yeah.
Which is what so obviously it's supposed to be tenfold. Is it tenfold the size of your tank?
There's
volume.
There's some people that say 4. There's some people that say 10. But
yeah.
Either or.
I mean, 10 times mine is 5,000. If we're going with 500 litres, so I'm double that. I'm 20 times.
So I think my tank's about 430 or something like that with the sump. So the 4,000 is sort of at its limit anyway. But I say I'm not I might try that. I might try filling up that chamber, making sure it's full, and whacking it up and see what happens. But I know I've done it a couple of times and it's error coded out.
You need to next time actually write down the error code and then search it up on the fault codes list for TMC's website because they give a very clear indication what each code is, and cavitation is one of them. So
Yeah,
just
well,
to
good to
clarify,
know.
boys, just to clarify, to stop it sucking so hard, you've got to get it really deep. Is that what we're saying? As like,
That's exactly what we're saying.
I thought that was what Ben was saying. To stop it sucking so hard, it's got to be really deep.
you are two smutty-minded individuals. We're here about the hobby and talking about fish and equipment.
That's exactly what you said, though. That's exactly what you said.
Oh
You've got
god,
to put
yeah.
it deep.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, really.
like you say, with this system, it's the return, obviously, of my reactors was my issue, and obviously getting the right flow speeds within my reactors. Now, I chose to buy a big return pump for the purpose of I didn't want to run 2 return pumps, or even 3 return pumps when you have 2 smaller pumps for each reactor, which just means more sockets used. It's just more wiring out problems and all that kind of stuff. So I just went go big, just go really big.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. Yes. And what I do now is, so with the return pump, the flows, the exit flows go into the chambers, go into the first chamber, because I only have 2 chambers on my tank, but it goes into my first chamber. But that also then goes now. I put a the plastic cups, on the hanger that you can put filter floss, and I just use it as an extra piece of and now every so often I'll put some filter wool in there, whatever cotton wool in there, let it filter it out, and then I'll empty out. It's just how I feel. And I've got the sponge that you can buy, the normal filter sponges that you get in the canisters and whatnot. Cut some of that up, and that's at the bottom. And it's just an extra piece of filtration, really, at the end.
So, obviously you've gone through the trouble of putting a big return pump on, and did you have? So the whole point is for Acropora, yes?
Yeah.
So you've got acros in there. Did you have acros in there at 4,000 litres, or have you just put them in at 10,000 litres? My point is,
I had them at 4,000.
But have you seen a difference now that you've increased the flow rate from the sump?
No.
No, I don't think so. Actually, to be fair,
do you want to go and have a look?
That, though, I mean, saying that, if you look at that coral there, which is Bird's Nest, SPS.
Yeah, because see that really well, Ben. Well pointed out.
Yeah, I mean, that has grown big, but I don't know whether that's because of the flow. If I were to put, say, food nutrients in for the corals, which I do once every 2 weeks at the moment, I mean, it spreads quick around the tank. It's so turbulent in there that everything gets it.
Right. So Ben, we've spoken previously of somebody that we've both been to see that's no longer in the hobby, that we bought little frags from before. This person that we're not going to call him out, but the person. So you must have seen his acro tank. When you walked in, there was a little acro tank there. The amount of flow that he had in that system.
Oh, it was insane.
Mega flow.
I mean, go on, sorry.
And when I saw it, I thought that was loads and loads of overkill. Because in comparison, when I was on holiday, I went to see a system that was just full of acro. And obviously the people in the background that are watching us, we're just discussing, me and Ben, because we know people. The size of that person's system, if you say 20 times bigger, but with the same amount of flow in it, like the amount of pumps and things like that, and it didn't look any worse off.
No.
So I'm not 100% sure of. I know obviously the acros do get battered and things like that. But how many other pumps have you got in your system?
I've got 2 gyros.
Right.
I've got 2 gyros. I've got a 120 and a 150 from Jabeo, which again, if I run them on minimum. On 30 is the minimum on a Jabeo. You can't go any lower. One's running at 30, one's running at 35. I mean, if I were to put them, say, even at 40 or 50, sand starts getting chucked up. It's what, you know, it's then too much. Even the fish struggle to swim. So the flow now is, yeah. I mean, for me, right, when I started this hobby, obviously learning and changing and whatnot, I don't know about other hobbyists. I know the husbandry and maintenance of your tank is something I sometimes quite dislike. I mean, I'm a busy individual. You know, like everyone, we've got jobs, we've got kids, we've got things that we need to get done. And I don't always have the time of spending like an hour and a half, like sieving my sand bed, picking all the stuff up or whatnot. That's why I added a higher flow to stop like dead spots in the tank.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying what I'm doing is the right way, but at the moment it works for me. If it starts to go Pete-Tong, I'll obviously, I'm more than willing to lower flow rates and change stuff. But that's the part of this hobby. I mean, you find things that work and you find things that might work for a time being, and then they don't work anymore for whatever reason that might be. Now, flow-wise, yeah, I know 20 times flow on this is ridiculous. It's way too high, but not all that 20 times flow goes straight into the display tank. It you know, a good, say, 5,000 liters of that stays in the sump because of how it recirculates the water through the reactors. Now, again, it's probably 5,000 liters worth of return water going through those reactors is probably too much. But at the moment, it works for me. It works for what I've got in there. So I'm not going to change it until it stops working.
Exactly. And that is the whole point of the hobby, that you do things on your fish tank and I do things on my fish tank and Ross does things on his fish tank, that we may have a little bit of a debate, but at the end of the day, you run your fish tank how you want to. But the best bit about you running your fish tank as you run it and Ross running it as he runs it and me running it as I run it is the people that are watching are going to see down the line whether Ben fucks it up or not. That's the bit. And we're going to do it live.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is keep tuning in to see whether it goes Pete-Tong, folks. Because I don't really know.
So far, it hasn't. So far,
No.
I changed. You know, perfect example. I had a Barmy Slimer. It suddenly died. It died. I mean, it browned out, and I thought that's it. But I have this thing with SPS corals. I leave them in the tank, even if they're dead, because I always think there's a chance of it coming back to life, and it has. Okay. The base is turning green again, and it's growing back out again. So, you know, whether the corals don't like the high flow or the lighting or whatever I've done, it doesn't, especially for SPS or my experience with SPSs and acros, don't count it out. Give it some months. I mean, if it obviously has hair algae growing all around it, yeah, then it's definitely a goner because it can't grow again. But if it's just a skeleton and it's turned brown and you think it's dead and it's maybe bleached because it bleaches out some, there's still a chance of it coming back, but it can take a long time. And it has done. It took about 3 months for it to start, the base to suddenly get green again. And now I've got 2 little patches and they're growing. So, you know, a winner on that. And that's my experience so far. Like, don't count your acros and SPS out instantly if it suddenly goes white, bleaches, or goes brown, because it can come back.
Should I go get that torch out the bin again then?
That's LPS, mate. A softie. I mean, yeah, you no chance on that.
Yes. So did everybody see Ross's? Because I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call him out live to the world.
You already did anyway.
Did everybody see Ross's video that he put on? Was it on Facebook or Instagram?
I did it on Instagram, but I think I shared it to Facebook as well.
All right, fair enough. So Ross's tank, what he's done is he's always promoted half-cut corals because that's the sort of man he is. He likes tapping and things like that. And the latest one came up, and I watched it, and it says, what does it say?
Progress powered by half-cut corals.
Yes, progress powered by half-cut corals. And then the cheeky bastard stole my logo and put it on the end of it.
Are you the?
It's
you're
free
the
advertising.
CFO?
You're welcome.
Ross, you can be the COO, mate, Chief Operating Officer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm still COO in this hobby is for something. There's bound to be something different. But yeah, I like the fact that it's coming along now. Ross? Do you feel as though you'd actually getting somewhere in the hobby now?
Yeah, things are lasting a bit longer in there. The parameters are pretty much back to where they should be now. So yeah, it's all about taking it steady, isn't it? That's the trouble, and that's the problem, isn't it? That no one's got the patience for it.
No, but
You're right.
You're not far off. Coming, what are we now? 8 months into this new fish tank.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's starting to come together now.
It's kind of on target, really, now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So now I need to find things to fiddle with now because everything's there. I need to tweak stuff.
You need to spend money.
Like my return
money.
And different wave makers, maybe, and still got refugium on my mind as well.
So going on to about your refugium or refugiums, I started my refugium. Oh, these cut out. I started my refugium. What was it? A couple of weeks back now. And now that I've got the KH manager running, I have noticed less of a swing in pH, especially when you run the lights of your sump for your refugium at night. There's a less of a swing. So it is worth it. And I mean, and it is obviously worth as well for using nutrients, taking up nitrates and phosphates out of the system.
That's the aim for me really at the minute, is to bring down my nitrates. Phosphate I'm controlling with the Agent Green, but if it's a more natural way of doing it, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can look and I mean, obviously we know that your tank is heavily stocked, so maybe an ARL, if you've ever heard of them before, an ARL reactor, which
ALR is it?
ALR, algae light reactor or algae reactor light or whatever.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Because I've watched quite a few videos of other reefers using them and reviewing them, and they get quite decent reviews, to be fair. I mean, it may be something to look at. And
so
also there's
a reactor with a light in it, isn't it?
Yeah, and its whole purpose is to grow algae in it. So instead of it being, I think the whole idea of it is instead of it being in your display tank, because the light is so bright in that reactor, that the algae rather grow in there. So it then obviously it growing causes all your nitrates and phosphates to drop or to be lower.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some other things that I've seen, some 3D printed designs now of where you can put some, was it Cheeto, on like a spindle, and then the flow of water causes it to spin, and then the Cheetos, you put it in the middle and it grows out like a ball that keeps spinning. It's quite clever. And I don't think it's something that's massive on the market as of yet. it made a new thing, I think. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. You know, if you've got the space in your sump or a chamber, you can clip it onto the glass, put a bit of Cheeto on it, and it naturally then grows whilst it's spinning.
How are you?
We've got a 3D designer bloke coming on in a couple of weeks. We can flog him that idea, Ben.
Yep, sounds like a good one. Maybe get some in the, over this side of the pond.
Right, so I'm going for a beer, but this segment at 25 minutes in is now. Hello, people. Thank you very much for viewing. If you would like to see us going forward, or me, like and subscribe, put notifications on, and then you'll get like a bell when you see my pretty little mug. I know. Tell me about it. I know. It's all PR. It's all PR.
Ben, doing a good job at it.
I know. I'm still trying to jingle. What's been going off in your tank this week, Ben?
I have decided that pH is my tackle this week. So I struggle to get pH above 8. Obviously, corals like a pH of roughly between 8.1 and 8.3, maybe even up to 8.4. There's been some reefers saying that anything above 8.3 can double the growth of your coral, which is insane to think about. So I built myself a CO2 scrubber. I've used a 10-inch RO canister, filled it up with CO2 scrubber media, and plumbed it into my skimmer. And it's running right now. And it's been on for 2 days. 2 days so far, and my pH has risen by an almighty 0.3%, 0.03 at the moment, but I'm just trying to dial it in. But hopefully that will increase my pH substantially when it's working correctly.
Do you know what he's talking about as a pH scrubber, Ross?
Not entirely, but I sort of recognise it because he's already shown us it in the group chat. But
in the group chat, just think of all the stuff that you're going to be able to mess about with in the future.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, talking pH, then, do you test your pH, Lee?
No. So I've tested the pH probably 3 times this tank that's here has been running 4 years, and I've probably tested it 3 times. There's a pH pen down here that will be returned at some stage to a local fish stop. I just keep forgetting to take it back. But the Hannah ones, obviously, you put the Hannah in and you do the pH and stuff like that. But are we agreed, Ben, that the whole point of increasing the pH is to increase the growth of corals? Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. So you have to be a certain way into the hobby to then worry about the growth of it. Because at the end of the day, the first battle is getting something to grow. And then the next battle is, well, you're growing, but you're just not growing fast enough. So it's then the stages of challenging. We talked about this quite a few times, that challenging yourself and then finding the next challenge and then finding the next challenge and then finding the next challenge. We're literally battling with Mother Nature, and Mother Nature has challenges all the way through the hobby.
No one used quite challenging.
I'm very challenging. Was that?
Yeah.
Me. I don't disagree. But there's a lot of people that will think about things that are not too far into the hobby. But if you're worrying about pH at 8 months into your fish tank, potentially you're worrying about something that isn't really going to make that much of a difference.
No, I'm not
getting
worried
some-
about it.
So
yeah,
you're saying
getting-
pH doesn't make a difference to growth?
it will make a difference to growth, yes, but at the stage of the first year of a fish tank, the keeping something alive
Things are still
is a
settling down,
goal
aren't
all on its
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, and you can keep. I mean, some. I think one of these fish tanks when I was testing it was at 7.7, but it still grows coral. It may not grow it at a lightning pace, but it still grows coral. And then people will chase numbers of, oh, it's got to be this and it's got to be that. Obviously, alkalinity scrubber, KH managers, and all the different things. There's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds worth of equipment in this hobby for people to challenge themselves and want that next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Ben's had a fish tank now 2 and a bit years, something like that.
Yeah, maybe coming up to 3, something like that. Between 2 and 3 years, yeah.
Yeah. So obviously the first bit of having an initial fish tank and then realizing he could grow coral, then he changed to a different fish tank, and then he's faffed and farted about with different lights and bits and bobs, and now it's getting to the stage where all of the different things are coming together. He knows he can grow coral because he's had the practice, and now he's wanting to go into a different type of coral, and he's now looking at different ways to mess about with his fish tank, which we all do. We all do it.
It's challenges, isn't it? Like you say,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
exactly
chase
the
of
same.
accomplishing the challenge. Like my previous challenge was trying to keep a copper band alive. I've managed that. My copper band's trained. It eats. So next one, pH. But I mean, it did come up with the fact that I got that KH manager, and the KH manager does alkalinity via pH, and you know however cleverly they do it, and then seeing your pH reading all the time, and I'm going, it's not really where I want it to be. You know, with the threshold, you know, it's not that where I want it to be. Hence, the Zellerman's pH Plus product. Hence, all that. So this is the next step.
That then calls back to sometimes just looking at a fish tank. So when I first started with this 3-foot fish tank, I could not stop putting my hand in the fish tank because every time I saw it, there was some reason to put my hand in the fish tank. And it took me ages and ages and ages and ages and ages to get out of the habit of putting my hand in the fish tank. And the thing being that for a living, I deal with oil, mechanical oil. So I'm dealing with oil all day and then putting my hand in the fish tank and then wondering why stuff's dying. Stop putting your hand in the fish tank, Lee.
That's what petroleum will do to your tank.
Exactly. I've got a pair of glasses that have got one of those anti-reflective coatings on, and I deal with petrol at work and stuff like that. And I still wipe my glasses on my oil stained t-shirt, and then I wonder why all the coatings come off because it's not designed to do that.
No, exactly.
Exactly. We're human. We do things that we know are detrimental, but we still carry on doing them. Case in point.
Exactly. What about you, Ross?
What have we done this week?
I know what he's done. I know what he's done.
I don't. Actually, I do know what he's done today.
Well, you might do what he's done today. I know what he's done. He's bottled having a Gonipora. Bottled it.
Oh, hang on. That's not an easy coral to have, though.
No.
That's my next challenge.
Yeah. But last week,
last week I said this week.
He walked out the shop and he went, I'm having that next week if it's still there. What you could do is you could make it so it's still there. And I was like, all right, fair enough. But then this week when he walked in, it was like, oh, are we having a Gonipora? And he his arse fell out, basically. That's what it was. His arse fell out.
It'll happen. Yeah, but you told me I need to make sure that copper's gone first, though, didn't you?
Yes, so it's all my
Which I-
fault.
Yeah, which I haven't
You
done
sabotage yourself, Lee. There.
Sorry, Ross. Right, go on. Tell me the normalness of what you've been doing.
yet. I've not done a great deal, to be fair. I've been target feeding my torches and things, having a little go at that.
What have you been feeding?
Just mysis and brine shrimp. I just mixed it up in a bit of arrow in a little sample pot, and then used my old turkey baster and squirted some on them. So
That's a first. I've never heard someone do that.
the Duncan seemed to enjoy it. That all closed up and ate it, and then came out a bit later on.
Yep.
Thought I'd have a go, see what happened. Nothing detrimental so far.
Anything else that you've been up to? Anything special? No.
No, just trying to leaving it alone a little bit.
Do you obviously Ross has just mentioned it there. Do you target feed your corals, Ben?
No, I broadcast
What are you-
feed.
What are you feeding?
I feed reefroids. So I've got the Polylab products. So I do the amino acids first. I put what it's stated on the bottle, put that on, let it sit for 15-20 minutes in the tank so that all the corals are wanting then to feed, and then I mix reefroids with some is it oyster eggs? Is it oyster eggs in the bottle?
Oyster munch.
Yeah, oyster munch. I mix that all together with some water, and then I just broadcast feed it in the gyro, and it just sends it everywhere.
Right. You don't you don't feed the oyster munch direct to anything.
Nope.
Right. All right. Fair enough.
No, I mean, I didn't. To be fair, Ross, when you said you feed your LPS mysis, I didn't even know you could do that. From everything I've watched, it's always been like reefroids and stuff like that, or what's it? The Red Sea bright orange liquid, the snow or whatever it's called that you add on. Is it AB plus or I don't know what it's called now, but yeah, and then you feed that to the tank, and it's just broadcast.
It was really just a bit see what happened, really. Like I say, we've said I'm quite heavily stocked with fish, so anything I sling in there gets gobbled up pretty quickly. So I thought I wonder if the corals are getting as much as they need. So I thought I'd try that. I've got I inherited a little pot of is it coral snow or coral dust or something like that. I think it's called snow, I think. So I mixed a little bit of that in with it as well, which I think is similar to reefroids.
Yeah, I think I can't remember which product it was. The Calanus one. You open the tub and it smells like death.
Yeah, that.
Right. Yeah. But corals love it. But yes, similar sort of concept.
Mm.
What about you, Lee? What do you feed the corals to get yours growing?
Exactly the same as you, Ben. Polyp Labs, which is that one, and then old school reefroids tub. Oh,
there you go.
Old school.
Well, I've got mine
And another one.
and another one. But do you broadcast feed, or do you feed individually to each coral?
Right, Ben. What's more important? Target feeding corals or target drinking me?
Yeah. So you broadcast feed like me then? Just shove it in.
Chuck it in, like with a snow plow. Just literally chuck it in.
Yeah.
Because all these systems are very low in fish. So the little red scoop that you get in the Salifert calcium and whatever.
That's what I use.
Yep. So I do a heaped spoon, and each of the systems gets 6 of those every day.
Wow. What are you running to control your phosphates? Because obviously it does increase phosphate doing that.
Phosphate is managed with Rowaphos and a little bit of Agent Green, but the concept of the phosphate side of it, I will let it get quite high, as long as your way of running a fish tank and my way of running a fish tank are two different ways.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm not overly bothered in some of the systems about the amount of phosphate that's in there, because the phosphate and the nitrate and everything, it all gets absorbed, and as long as I've not got nuisance algae in there, or I've not got any sign of corals that are not growing. The majority of the corals, I know sort of where the growth rate is, but literally just banging it in, and as long as stuff's growing, that's
happy.
I could quite happily chase growing stuff at a rate of knots, and growing Cyphastrias. I could grow Cyphastrias if I actually got all of the parameters down perfectly, and growing Cyphastrias like they're going out of fashion. I could potentially put, say, 50 to 100 Cyphastrias in the shop every week. But unfortunately, peoples, you don't want them because you don't come to my shop. So come to my shop, peoples, and they'll be cheaps. I say my shop. It is my shop, isn't it? It is, of course, it's my shop. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. But we need to get people into being able to grow that sort of a thing, and it's a longer period of time. Ross has got one of my Cyphastrias in his fish tank.
I did have.
Exactly.
I mean, on another note, you know the mushroom that
Yes.
came to the shop. Everyone go to the shop. Bright yellow mushrooms, stunning. Still going strong in my tank. Still doing fine.
So mine's just fell off of its frag plug, and I've only just noticed because you've just mentioned it. But it's still
There you
alive.
go.
Still
Mine's
alive.
still alive. It's not, but I have put it in quite a shaded area. It's only sitting at about 40 par, where mine is.
Ooh. Ross, come on.
Oh yeah, I did that today as well.
Oh,
I did say, I know something you've done today. That was the
like, really? And look, I'd not even twigged on. So obviously we have got people. We've got people messaging. Wife feeds Duncan's frozen mysis. Look, we'll even put this on screen.
Brilliant.
See,
there you go. Then
it's only you, Ben. It's only you, Ben. That I've got.
I honestly, no clue to it, because from watching people feed, and obviously the I'd say, I don't want to call it the norm, but everyone uses powders like Polylabs, Reefroids, or other type of foods, which is liquid form or whatnot, which is very, very, isn't chunky or anything like that. So I didn't realize you could just put some mysis on them. Why not? No, I mean, I suppose actually what I'm saying is, now that I think about it, I think I'm quite stupid in that sense, because when you can buy LPS coral feed, which is like a pellet form, and you can literally chuck pellets on top of target feed certain LPS corals, I think, why not a mysis? Why not brine?
I think you've been watching the wrong live streams, Ben.
Well, I like to have a broad understanding of people's ways of running things.
Ooh.
So, I do watch other things other than half-cut corals as well. Taboo. Oh,
no. So go on, Ross. What have you been doing today?
So today I did another power test on my tank. Since I've altered my lights and moved some rock about, wanted to see where things were now.
And
And
were
it's not
you
bad.
surprised? Were you happy?
I wasn't surprised because I know I've got a decent light. But yeah, I'm happy where everything is. I've got some shaded spots. I've got a good. I think the highest point with the best power is about 360, 370, something like that. Lowest, most shaded is about 70. So yeah, it's all right.
That's
So,
decent. Man.
So you know, when obviously we've got viewers. We've got viewers. These viewers may be brand new. So you know, when you say you've got 300 in places, whereabouts or 36 whatever. Whereabouts is that?
So in my tank, it's the centrally and to the high rock is
And
the highest power. So basically closer to the light.
Yep. And where's your 70?
So the 70 is like bottom corners. Or
Bottom
is by
corners.
like an overhanging rock or something.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's
So
decent.
we'll put this question on.
It's places like that where I would like your mushrooms and things.
We'll put this question on screen because obviously, thank you very much, Keith, for giving us some questions. Because obviously, these boys, where'd you get a palm meter from? Well, if we had the other person or a couple of other people in the live stream, that would have been answered straight away, would it not?
It would have been.
It would have been. And then we would find out.
Yeah, rich mate just spending money.
Yeah, and then we would find out whether he wants to rent it out to other hobbyists or whether he wants to do anything. But basically, what happened was the man that spent quite a couple of quid on a frag tank. Shall we mention his name? Dave. Bought himself a par meter, and we're in a group chat in the background. And as soon as it became apparent that David got a brand new par meter, it was like, "Oh, I'll have that. Oh, I'll have that. Oh, I'll have that." So it's done the rounds. But when we'll have to get him on because obviously the par meter, you two have had it. Were you impressed with it? What were the drawbacks of it?
So the par meter isn't like the normal par meters that people would think of. Like everyone talks about a certain brand called, I think it's called Apogee, which is like the A-class par meter. The shop used to be able to borrow it from the shop, but it's broken. So I can't remember the brand now. Who's it by now? It doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a different brand, not known like a really known brand, but the readings were brilliant. And we tried to compare them to old readings, and this one there was talks about like maybe having to add a multiplier onto the actual reading to try and equivalent to the Apogee brand or to the really known brands, and it's absolutely spot on. I can't complain with it. I mean, the readings I've got are brilliant. I did do par meter readings with it this week at the beginning of the week. And it did show me that I need to adjust some things, which I have done. But yeah, no, really good. Advise it. And I think, the shop needs to maybe start the service again of renting out a par meter to individuals. The fact that there isn't one, I think is, I think it's something that maybe the shop should have.
Or Half Cooked Corals could have it.
Or Half Cooked Corals maybe do a rental service. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a bad idea at all. I mean, people use it. Don't get me wrong. Things change in your tank. You adjust. Like we say, the hobbyist, you changed your artwork, Ross. You thought, I want to adjust my scape a little bit, this and the other. But when you do that, you lose your reference points of par readings.
That's
naturally.
right. That's why I wanted to do it.
exactly. Or like me, I tinker with my lights all the time. I tinker with certain, because of my AI Hydras and I'm part of the Hydra group, I change the schedules. Some people say schedules are like, this is a good schedule, or, whatever. David Saxby, for example, I've got his schedule, try that. Or, Joe Bloggs' schedule, this is actually better for SPS and this and the other. So, you tend to mix and change and mix about with things, and then you will need it. So, yeah, no, it was good. Good fun. Good fun to use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely worthwhile exercise, isn't it?
Yep.
But they are normally an expensive thing, and it's not
They are,
the
yeah.
norm that they're available, because the trouble is when people borrow stuff. I mean, obviously we're in a little bit of a clique as such, and we've got to know each other, and it's different lending something to a mate than lending something to a customer, because we lend barrels to customers that never come back. So if a £10 barrel's not going to come back, then well,
A £300
however
car meter.
Well, that's why
exactly.
you put things in place, don't you?
Yeah.
Information, personal information maybe gets stored, of i.e. where will this piece of equipment will be going. Yeah, I mean, there's things you can put in place, but yeah, like you say, a power meter is not cheap. It costs an arm and a leg, really, to be fair, for that piece of equipment.
The
we
only
are
awkward thing with them is you sort of need a third hand, don't you? Because you've got the reading in one hand, you've got the stick in the other, and if you want to write it down or write it on your tank or anything like that, you need another hand, don't you? Or a helper.
You've not got a very big one to lean something against, obviously.
No, I'm afraid not. No.
No, I mean, I know what you mean. I had to actually take reference points that I wanted to take of the tank, and then all I did was take the reading of, say, reference point number 1, take it out of the water, put it in a bucket, write it down, and then go back to it. Where it could have been a lot quicker, where there was someone there and with you going, and then you just shouting out, right, this is the readings, here, done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you par test your tank, Lee?
I've par tested 1 or 2 times. Now it's in the group chat, and you two have played about with it. It's not as if I'm not going to play about with it, because I can't be the odd one out, can I? I mean, you two.
You're going to have to give it a go.
The thing is, you two are getting all the fun of the fair, and it's me that set all this shit up. I want the perks.
Hey, and do you know what? I know I've said it to you, Lee. Dave's frag rack and his setup. Do you know? I love going there. It was the first. I went there obviously to borrow it, and his frag setup is just sick. Honestly, pure marine envy when I saw his setup and his Neptune board, and oh my god, it's just brilliant. Love it. Can't wait to see what corals he can grow from there. I really look forward to seeing that progress over its lifespan.
Yeah, so do I. And it's all going to be live, folks. All of it. Oh,
brilliant. When we talk about geeking out on stuff, he is geeked out hard, and that's my kind of like, oh yeah, okay, we go with the words, yeah, okay, yeah, getting excited there, Lee. But I can guarantee you, when you went there and saw it too, you also thought, this is brilliant. This is quite cool.
No,
I'm
not going to say I had a wet patch, Ben. I'm not going to say I had a wet patch.
You did. You just won't admit to it. I did. I'll happily admit to it. It was brilliant. I loved it.
Oh. So, you're
speechless now, aren't you?
I'm not sure I can move on from that. I'm not sure I can move on from that. Ben's wet patch is not that's like a game changer, that, and it. Let's just push that to one side. Oh.
So what's coming up next with you then?
What's coming up next with me is a new system going online, hopefully tomorrow, with some new lights, and so spent some more money on some more lights, some more money on some flow, and then we'll see whether we can do more things to camera with an actual frag tank in the background, because none of these are camera ready, if you know what I mean, because this was all set up and then the live streams were set up without the backwards thought process that, oh, Lee, you're going to do this and then you're going to go and tell the world about it. So it needs to be a little bit more professionalized, because you see all these people on YouTube with like big signs and things like that above the fish tanks and Ponzi day glows and stuff like that. I mean, Ross has even put some pictures on the side of his tank just to outshine me.
I've got something. I've got something really special coming, but I'm not revealing that.
Oh, come on!
I'm not telling.
Give us a little teaser.
Going to be a surprise for one of the lives.
It's going to be a surprise.
Oh,
But
right.
Hopefully for my tank tour review.
Tank tour review. Right. So the process of the next couple of weeks is a little bit up in air, whether we do a tank tour review with you, or we do a tank tour review with somebody that wants to promote something, and I'm giving him every opportunity to come on live, do a tank tour and promote the rubbish that he produces. I mean, there's no easy way to say it. He's the only reason that he's in this hobby is because of me, because I've taught him everything, and he's not here to defend himself.
Okay.
That's the thing. He's not here to defend himself. So maybe we get him to be able to defend himself. And then, yeah. So obviously it's Halloween today. Are we going to finish on a trick or treat theme?
Oh.
Ooh. I've thought about this.
Okay.
Are we ready to finish on a trick or treat theme? Get ready for it, boys.